For some analysis on the US news now, we're joined by Professor Joe Siracusa from Curtin University. Professor Joe Siracusa, I want to start with the awful news that is coming out of the Capitol Hill where a police officer has been killed. What's your reaction to what's unfolded?
Good afternoon, Gabriel. Look, this is very interesting news. This guy tried to go through the barricade, and he ran a couple people down, and then he got out of his car and with a knife of all things, and he was shot down. And the most interesting thing to me is this: is that most of the press in America is using this story to relive what happened on January 6th. About the great sadness of this kind of thing and who's attacking the people's house and this kind of thing. And they're sort of bringing up this story, and they've left the perpetrator a little bit in the background. Noah Green is considered a 24-5-year-old American from Indiana who's unemployed. He might be mentally disturbed, etc. If you look very carefully at his Facebook, and I had a good look at it before it started to disappear, he is a devout follower of the Nation of Islam. He's a black nationalist. And I'm not saying black nationalists are powering what he's doing, because he was obviously in great pain. But he refers to himself as Noah X. At one time, he was going to change his name the way Malcolm X changed his name and Muhammad Ali changed his name, et cetera, et cetera. And he's a great admirer of Malcolm X and Louis Farrakhan, who's an 87-year-old leader of the Nation of Islam, which is headquartered in my old town, Chicago. Farrakhan is a very controversial figure. He is accused of killing Malcolm X. He was a famous American anti-Semite. On the other hand, he does not preach violence. It's about the blacks running themselves. They do have a military unit called the Fruits of Islam, which will take care of business if they are under attack. But it's extraordinary that we don't hear anything about his background, except we get a name, former football player from Newport University, et cetera. But I've been looking at some of the famous black channels in America, which have excellent commentary on this. And they think there's some kind of pain going on here, and that it might be related to all this angst that's coming out of the George Floyd trial, all the anger that it generates day after day, seeing this horrible death, and people can't process it. And these things are all connected. But why would this guy do this right now? Is it a sacrifice, a suicide? Is it something larger? And the fact that a black nationalist is attacking Capitol Police is extraordinary development. I think we're going to have to deep dive into this and figure out what this is about. But look, this is all. Go ahead.
On another topic, though, because we're just short on time today, Joe Biden wants to spend $2 trillion on infrastructure and jobs. Do you think this bill will go through?
Well, not as it is. The right, that is, the Republican right, maybe some conservative Democrats think he's spending too much money all on the wrong things. It's called the jobs bill, even though it's about infrastructure. The people on the left, AOC or Cortez and others argue, and Senator Warren argues, that it doesn't go far enough. They need $10 billion. And of course, the big question here is, who is going to pay for it? And, what does it cost and who's going to pay for it? And so the left suggests the bill should be about $10 trillion, not $2 trillion. And it's very clear that Biden is going to go after corporate America and wealthy Americans, which is always good luck if you can get away with that, because they control most of the lobbying in the United States. So, they're going to try to go to the rich and soak the rich to pay for the poor. This is a very tough sell, as a matter of fact. But it's quite clear that Biden won't be able to control this. I think the really good news coming out of the Biden White House is that they're reigniting negotiations again with the Iranians in Vienna on Tuesday.
Yeah, so they're heading to Vienna, and so that could see the Iran and nuclear deal back on.
I'd love to see this. I believe in any kind of nuclear agreement that takes nuclear arms off the tables for a while. It's never permanent, et cetera. And the Iranians make it very clear there won't be any direct relations with America, that is, direct negotiations. It'll be kind of shuttle diplomacy. They'll be in their embassies or consulates in Vienna and hotels, and they'll be doing shuttle diplomacy. But the Chinese are there, the Russians are there, the Europeans, the Germans and the French are there, and the European Union. So, the gang is coming back, and they want to just pick up where they left off. And I think it's a great idea, because while the original deal wasn't the best deal in the world. It's the best deal we're going to get on this earth. And I think President Trump made a mistake in cutting that one. And the other thing is they're going to be talking at Annapolis this weekend with the National Security Advisor, with his counterparts in Japan and South Korea, talking about the North Korean negotiations. So Biden is full steam ahead. Big domestic program, foreign policy full tilt. And then we have this terrible thing in Washington that stops everything and redirects the news for a little bit. So it's a big weekend in America.
It does seem in foreign policies he is full steam ahead. Professor Joe Siracusa, we do have to leave it there. Thank you so much for your insights and analysis today.
Okay, thank you.